and go. Hot Pass Podcast. Homestead weekend. I'm going to be down there. I'm excited. First time down in Florida. Actually, thank you very much. First time, obviously, at Homestead then. And it's going to be a great time, guys. Let me tell you. I don't have VIP tickets this weekend. Shouts out to my boy for not getting them this weekend. There's supposedly, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that the amount of sponsors going to Miami is insane. Oh, that just shows that they're not real fans. They're just going to Miami because it's Florida and it's Miami, and they don't actually go to the other tracks that is like real racing. But Homestead is also real racing, so I'm not fucking. Wait a minute, back up a little bit. Homestead is real racing. I just want to make sure that you guys all know that I'm not talking shit about Homestead. This is good, one of the greatest tracks in NASCAR, bar none. So let's get into it. Hot Pass Podcast, everywhere you get your podcasts, available every Tuesday and Friday at 5 a.m. Eastern, whether it's audio on Spotify, Apple, or on YouTube. Okay, Friday morning betting show every single week at 5 a.m. Eastern, and then Tuesdays we do the recap of the weekend, the betting recap, everything that's going on in news and drama and all sorts of shit. For example, like William Sawalich going to Joe Gibbs, going to be racing this weekend. We're fading the shit out of him in the Xfinity series. So just remember that when we get to the Xfinity, because we got all three series this weekend. So Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube. Go over there, like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast. Make sure an audio version as well. Leave a 5-star rating. It helps out the podcast. Because I have big plans over the winter holidays to be able to expand everything. YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, getting ads as well. Being able to make some revenue off this, make it better for you guys, have a greater setup. So make sure to like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast on Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube. Then go to @FurlongEric_. This is the biggest thing that you're going to want to do is go over to the Hot Pass, go to @FurlongEric_ on all social media platforms. Okay. Why? Because this weekend I'll be at Homestead. You're going to see everything going on Twitter, Instagram, my Instagram stories. I'm going to try and record some stuff. Hope maybe get a YouTube video up. But also every weekend, if trucks are on Friday, which, for example, this weekend they're on Saturday, but an hour before the truck race, I'll post my full betting card, my final betting card, and then the Xfinity races on Saturdays an hour as well before. I'll post my full betting card on my Instagram story and my Twitter feed or X feed, whatever you want to call it. So make sure to follow me there so you can see everything that's going on this weekend, future events that I go to, and in the off season. And then make sure so you follow me so you can see the final full betting card. So make sure to follow me there. If you want to see all my cup plays, go over to the Action Network. Link is in the bio wherever you find me. And we're over 120 plus units on all time in the last year only, which is insane, just in the Cup Series alone. And we have some long shot plays. You want to see the early plays? We got a beautiful line that moved super early on in the week. You got to go over to the Action Network. You got to follow me there. You guys will get a notification every time I place a bet and put it on the Action Network, mainly just the Cup Series. So that's it. That's all. Let's dive right into it. Okay, we're going to Homestead this weekend in Miami or south of Miami, however you guys want to call it. It's about 20 to 30 minutes south of Miami, but I'll be staying in like Dadeland, so it's just outside of Miami, like just south. I think it's like the suburbs of Miami. In a nice hotel, and then I've rented a Charger. Hopefully when I get there they have a Charger or a Camaro or something like that, like I did in Las Vegas, and we will bump some Miami by Will Smith all the way down the fucking interstate, and some Pitbull, Mr. 305, all the way down to the track. It's like every time like people go to Toronto or it's their first time going to Toronto, they play Drake. No. You know who we play? Cardinal Official. Okay, that's what we do because we're OGs in the game. Drake came up, fucking everybody sucks his dick. No, Cardinal Official with some Akon in there. You guys know what it is. The real OGs know who Cardinal Official is. And the Weeknd's from Toronto too. So if you guys want to play the Weeknd, be a little sad boy, get it in there as well. So when I go down there, I'm gonna have to play that. You're gonna have to play a little Pitbull. What else is there? If you guys know any other artists, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything crazy. I mean, I'm in Miami, bitch, by fucking LMFAO, has to be played. Saturday night might be end up playing a little Shots, okay? Depending on what my boy Jared wants to do. Because I think he said he went to FSU. And he went to college and I think high school and shit down there. So shout out to my dog. So I'm just going to pull up Twitter. I just want to make sure we get all the laps and everything like that logged up. So you guys know exactly the laps, the time of the race. Because this is an odd one. It's actually one of my favorite ones. I'll be at the track all day on Saturday because trucks start around noon. Probably the green flag will probably drop just after 12 o'clock. And then immediately we go an hour after the truck race is over, we immediately go into the Xfinity race. And then the sun will be hopefully going down near the end of the race if we get a late race caution, which I feel like there will be. That's my prediction. We had kind of a later one or whatever at Vegas, and I predicted that pretty damn well with Xfinity. And we need more night races, man. So it's an all-day event at the track on Saturday. I'll be a little tired because I'll be up super early in the morning, but I will have my car there. So if I need to have a little hour nap before Xfinity, I will be doing that. But it's one of the best days where you get insane driving up against the wall all day on a Saturday. You get to hang out in Miami at night on Saturday night, and then you go to the track Sunday, Homestead, playoff racing. Unbelievable, ripping the wall. I've never been there. Chris Wormy was telling me that it's the best track to go to. How insanely close they get to the wall. Darlington is one thing, but they do rip the wall, but they enter in a different angle and they're not completely riding all the way around. Where this, you're entering turn one and ripping it all the way around the whole time. Like insane, dude. So I'm really excited to go to this track. It might be one of those tracks that next year I probably won't go because it is in March, and I'm planning on going to Vegas for that race again. But the championship race and the next year, hopefully that's where we're going. I will be down at Homestead for the championship race, no doubt. Okay. Oh. Okay, so right. This is where it's odd. They do not have the broadcasting for Friday for the trucks practice and qualifying, and as well as Xfinity. They don't have it. As far as I know, they don't have it broadcasted. They're going to have it on the NBC Sports app. So if you're in Canada, you might be able to get on TSN. I don't know what the broadcasting is like this weekend. A lot of people are pissed. Or sorry, only Xfinity is being broadcast. Trucks is not. So you're going to have to watch the raw feed. I think Friday at 2:35 Eastern is when trucks practice and qualifying is going on, and 4:35 Eastern is Xfinity practice and qualifying. So maybe Xfinity will be available on TSN Canada. We'll see. Truck, I cannot believe that they do not have broadcasting going on. I think that is absolutely insane. So I'll just have to watch the raw feed, and we'll have to keep the Twitter feed up on Bob Pockris and Jeff Gluck and all these guys to see if somebody has an issue. So that's Friday. I'll be leaving my house at just after 2 a.m., being at the airport probably just after 3 a.m., and then flying out at 6 a.m. from Toronto. I'll be down at the track, or I'll be landing around 9:30 a.m. in Miami, and then probably pick up my car, and obviously at the airport, stop at the hotel, drop my shit off, stop at I have a little collapsible cooler, fill it up with some water and maybe some Beast Unleashed, and off to the track we go. So I should be there before. I'll miss cup practice and qualifying, whatever. My bets will already be in before I fly down because I cannot bet when I'm down there unless I go to a casino, and I'm not that much of a degenerate. So the green flag for the trucks is at 12:19 Eastern is what it's saying. So I will be there in time for the truck race as long as there's no delays or anything. It looks like there's nice weather down in Miami and there's nice weather up here, so we should be fine. So there should be, hopefully, knock on wood, no delays. So I should be there. Plenty of time to go get Dale Jr.'s merch. Hopefully it's not all gone. I ordered some online, but hopefully it's not all gone at the track because I want to be able to rep the drip early on. And then the truck race. We'll touch on this. We'll get into the bets right now. Truck race, 12:19 Eastern on Saturday. 30 laps for the stage 1 and stage 2. And then 74 gruesome, long, ripping the wall, tire wear laps. 74. 4 sets of tires. Keep that in mind. A lot of strategy possibly could be going on. And then the fuel is 49 to 52. So in that final stage, you know that pits are coming. And those will be crucial. Now, I think there will be a caution Definitely on this track. I think there will be a caution for somebody in the squirrels and getting their nuts cracked in the back. And hopefully our bets will not be in there. So let's dive into the bets that we have. Now, the reason why my card will be so heavy for mainly the truck series right now is because recently some of the books have been lagging a little bit behind. One thing I'm worried about, I'm definitely Bet365, but recently, last couple of weeks, not getting them up in time before the race, I'm making sure that I get my bets in before I fly. I know that trucks practice and qualifying is super early on Friday at 2:35 or whatever it was. But I am worried that sometimes I've seen it in the past where they've waited. If they do practice and qualifying on Friday, they do only come out with outrights until maybe about Saturday morning, if they're racing on Saturday morning, and then I'll already be down on a flight, and then I won't be able to get top fives and top threes and matchups and so on. So this is why it's so heavy right now. If I do get the option where I'm sitting at the airport trying to pass time, I will maybe add a little bit more or cash out some guys if if I'm not feeling good about them, but they qualified okay, but their long runs don't look good or something like that, I might cash them out. But anyways, that's the explanation of why this betting card is so heavy. If you guys want to wait, totally okay with me. It's totally up to you, but I see a lot of value on a lot of guys, okay? So let's start off with this. Let's start off with the matchups. Connor Zilisch over Taylor Gray. Might sound insane. I'm pretty sure Connor Zilisch will be driving in that number 7 truck again. Let me just double check if I can find that. Let's look up the qualifying orders. Oh no. Connor Zilisch is in the 75. Connor Mozak is in the 7. Do I trust that number 75? It was good with Parker Kligerman in it. Thing is, do you trust Taylor Gray? The 75 can be okay. I was going to take Connor Zilisch over Taylor Gray at minus 115 on Bet Rivers. This makes more sense why it is a matchup. Now, one thing with Taylor Gray is when it comes to high tire wear, I don't necessarily trust him. We haven't really seen him succeed very much on high tire wear, maybe a little bit on Kansas, right? But this is a lot, man. He's only had one run here. He's finished 13th. Now, the talent level on Connor Zilisch is on another level. We've seen it. Now, in the truck series, Connor Zilisch has gotten into a lot of issues, whether he's even running inside the top 10. Guys run him over. I think, I don't know if it was Lane Riggs or somebody, Nick Sanchez. I think it was Nick Sanchez at maybe Bristol or something, just totally wrecked him. If Connor Zilisch can qualify well, stay out of the squirrels, I honestly think he's going to beat Taylor Gray. Taylor Gray has been on and off of speed, and one thing that has held up over the last year or two is wherever he's been good at, he is still continuously good at. If he's been bad at it or kind of mediocre, he will probably run mediocre and kind of shitty. So I like Connor Zilisch. The 75 truck is the only thing that's scaring me, but the talent level of Connor Zilisch, we saw Parker Kligerman win in this truck and be able to drive up to the front. I think Connor Zilisch has obviously more talent than Parker Kligerman as well. You guys know where I stand with Parker Kligerman, but we're not bringing that beef from Xfinity down into the truck series. But Connor Zilisch, I think, can get it done. Taylor Gray will ride, I think, kind of mediocre. He'll probably qualify kind of meh, like a lot of those Tricon Garage trucks qualify like always. So I think Connor Zilisch at minus 115 is going to be pretty solid. I think Connor Zilisch, he could get the pole. I think he'll drive top 10. So I like this. Now that I've talked it out, I was a little ho hum at the beginning, right? With the number, seeing the number 75. But I trust him. Connor Zilisch, just stay out of the squirrels for once in the truck series. For the love of God, stop fucking around in the back. Let's stop using squirrels. Just stop fucking around in the rear, all right? Let's just stay up front, have good pits. Don't be an idiot. I'm not saying Connor Zilisch is an idiot, okay? Just wait a minute. And his dad's a nice guy too. They're all nice people. Connor takes time out of his day for fucking everybody, all right? So I'm not saying he's an idiot. Just don't fuck up, please. There's nothing worse than watching a matchup sweat. Actually, this is one of my favorite things to do is being live at a track and watching matchups. Having that in your phone, just a reminder of who you got, what number of truck they're in, and watching them throughout the entire race and just sweating that. Whether you've got the outrights in the top fives, that's fun, that's fine. But a matchup with guys that like Taylor Gray and Connor Zilic could be riding in the back half of the top 10 or just outside the top 10, and you're just watching them. And the whole race are on pit road, you're like, motherfucker, it's a battle again. No. Oh, he lost 30 spots on pit road, but he's got talent. He's got a fast truck. Watch him drive to the field. Can he make it through? That's one of these kind of bets, as well as this next one. Also, I wasn't going to give too much stats on Connor Zilic and Taylor Gray because Taylor Gray's only had one run here, and Connor Zilic has never ran here in the Truck Series, which makes me nervous a little bit. But we see what he does in the Xfinity Series on his first time at a track. So, he drove well at Kansas in the Xfinity Series, so I can't see why not. Stuart Friesen over William Sawalich. William Sawalich has not been the same William Sawalich we've seen, and William Sawalich is, yes, going to the Xfinity Series, driving for Joe Gibbs. I think it's a little premature. Has he showed us anything in the number one truck? No. I think, honestly, last year he showed us a little something. I think it might have been at Bristol or one of the short tracks in the number one truck. But Stuart Friesen, let me give you his record and listen to the statistics so you can hear that, because he will be in the top 5 market for me. Okay, so put your listening ears on. That's what people do. Okay, when you want statistics and you want facts. And it's a rare time that I give you statistics and facts and I dive deep into a guy. And now, can you trust Stuart Friesen? No, but when I'm giving you statistics and facts, you sit back, you oye, you listen, right? Now, I've been saying oye for years. I don't know if that actually means listen. I'm not Hispanic. Never taken any of that. But when I give you these statistics, you will listen, okay? Now, I just want to say that William Sawalich went into him just there for a second. That he is meh. Like, meh. A lot of money in behind him, so it doesn't shock me he's going to a Joe Gibbs car next year. Joe Gibbs is trying to find whatever the fuck he can find to be able to get a race, get some wins in the Joe Gibbs camp in Xfinity. But Stuart Friesen on this track is insane. Guys that you need to remember this weekend are the guys that have experience, long experience on tracks that have high tire wear, know how to save their tires. And I think these guys that are good at short tracks and have been in the short track, high tire wear short tracks on these little, like even these little tracks. I understand this is a mile and a half, but these guys that work in these 400 lap races, like even a Ty Majeski in the Truck Series, I'm thinking about taking a bet on him. But these guys that are in long races know how to save tires. They come to these high tire wear tracks. You see it in the Cup Series with Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, Kevin Harvick when he was in the Cup Series. These guys know how to save their tires. And when it comes to this, you need guys that have been to the track before and know how to save their tires and have an okay truck. And you're going to see this with Stuart Friesen's stats here. He knows how to just save his tires and work through the field. Yes, now Stuart Friesen can automatically just start running 25th, and he can qualify top 5 and run 25th. But he seems to only do that at certain tracks that he always does that at, right? So Stuart Friesen here in recent years, last year 6th, previous year to that 3rd, then he goes 14th, 11th, but then 4th and 7th, okay? All in the 52 truck. Now, the 14th and 11th might scare you, but I expect William Sawalich to drive even farther back than that. Stuart Friesen qualified the last 2 years, both times 9th. So I think a lot of his odds will be favored if we do get this matchup. I don't see William Sawalich qualifying very well either. And in previous years, in 2019, Stuart Friesen qualified first. This is when he was really, really good, though. 2018 qualified second, and then 2017 qualified 9th as well. So he's probably going to qualify well if we do get this matchup after practice and qualifying. I expect that Stuart Friesen is probably going to be a heavy favorite over William Sawalich. So this is, I'm trying to get that market value is what they would like to call it. Chris Wormy gives a lot of words. I just like saying Chris Wormy because he's a very intelligent fella, but don't let it get to his head. Don't say it too much because his head might explode. So we got to watch out. But he uses this market value, short, long. He uses words like this, and I go, wow, he has been around for a long time. So let me use words like this, so we're getting that market value, okay? And we're gonna get that market value, and I think that this is now it's a scary bet. I can't say it's a good bet till it's not a good bet, and we're gambling here. Let me tell you. But with his last two, like where Stuart Friesen in the last 2 years has been like kind of shitty. 6th and 3rd the last 2 years. I'll fucking take it, baby. So let's continue with the Stuart Friesen love. Let's make sure you guys know what the line is. That's on Caesars. Connor Zilic over Taylor Gray was on Bet Rivers. Stuart Friesen over William Sawalich on Caesars at -115. Top fives. Matt Crafton. We're going to go to Matt Crafton. Let me give you my Stuart Friesen one real quick. I gave you all the stats. Stuart Friesen +600, Bet365. If he qualifies top 10, this will be hacked down just a wee bit. He might be 3-1. He might be 4-1. I wouldn't take him at that. I like the 6-1. We're always getting a lot of value on Stuart Friesen and Matt Crafton. They should be good on these tracks. Being older boys, been around on these tracks for a long time, have good track history. But because of the season they're having, we get a little bit longer odds on this. If they had maybe a win in the bank, that might be a little shorter. See me use that word right there? Shorter? Look at that. Fucking tell me I am not a genius, okay? Tell me I am not a professional gambler. I would love to hear it. Well, I'm not because I got a full-time job. But if I quit, I'd be professional, right? Do people that like make no money on gambling? I see it a lot. They call themselves professionals too, right? I don't know. Imagine making no money, losing your bets all the time, and calling professional. I see it on Twitter. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, Stuart Friesen +600 on Bet365. A lot of these bets are going to be Bet365. They all are in the top 5 markets. So let's go over to Matt Crafton. And I'm loving this number. Now, he could very well qualify really bad, and this number could go up to an 18-1, a 20-1. But because, as I said, they might not have these numbers up before I leave good old Canada and cross over the border. So I'm getting in early just because I love this line. Where is he? Got his numbers here. Matt Crafton here. Okay. Recent years qualified 22nd, 20th, 13th, 9th, 22nd. And then previous years from 2016 on extremely well. Even got a pole. He got a pole and won the race. All in 2015. Now, maybe his qualifying efforts haven't been the best. But, okay, all in this 88 truck, all these years. He has recent years. Okay, the last time he finished not inside the top 10 was back in 2013. Holy shit. Okay, let me give you his finishes from last year all the way to 2014. Are you listening? Put your listening ears on, people. And he's plus 1,500 for a top 5. Is he hitting top 5s all the time? No, but he is finishing. His average finish here is 10th. Okay. He is finishing inside the top 10 on a consistent basis since fucking 2013 or 2014. And they're giving us plus 1,500 on Bet365. So listen to this. Starting last year, 7th, 8th, 9th, 2nd, 6th, 6th, 7th, 1st, 9th. Holy shit, top 10 every time. Late race caution comes out, plays his way. Even if he's running in the back, he saves maybe a set of tires. Guys stay out. They're a little scared with playoff points. He's only going for wins. Drives them through the field with some fresh tires, wins the race. Now, we're not saying he's going to win the race. We just need that top 5. And it's a little shekel, little sprinkle play on a guy that has been consistent. Holy shit, consistent. Better than Stuart Friesen. Better than Christian Eckes. Big dog names, right? Christian Eckes. All these crazy motherfuckers. Like, unbelievable finishes. And we're getting 15-1 on Bet365. I love this number. I don't know what it is available everywhere else. If it's south or if it's shorter than 10-1, I fucking don't want it. But even if you want to take it, look at the consistent finishes here. knows how to save his tires, knows how to just get a good finish. The biggest thing is, in his entire career here, he has never crashed out once. He has never crashed out once, Matt Crafton. Okay? In the 88 Menards, I'll be able to see it on the track all fucking day because that thing glows green or yellow or whatever the fuck. The Menards yellow all the way around that 1.5 mile track. And I'm excited to be able to see it live. I love the trucks. I think they look the sickest. And that Menards yellow just glows, baby. Let's not have this be the race that I'm there and he crashes for the first time. Wouldn't that be fantastic? So Matt Crafton, plus 1,500, 15-1 for a top 5 with those average finishes. Let's go to the shorter market. Raja Karuth, man, he has one finish here. He has one race here. It was in the 24. Arguably, this 71 truck should be better. He won at Vegas. A little bit of tire wear there. Won at Vegas. A lot of things had to go his way to be able to win the race. But here's my theory. What was it? Their third race of the year. They go to Daytona. They go to Atlanta. And then they went to Vegas, I think, the trucks. I think. This is the third. That was the third race in. Okay? This is the third race. The third last race of the year for the truck series. I'm making my statement now that we're going to finish the year is exactly how we started the year with Raja Karuth, 3-1 for a top 5. He qualified 13th last year, finished 8th, had a good truck. More laps on this track. I'm sure he's been practicing for weeks. Raja gets a lot of details from Cup Series drivers, Xfinity drivers. He's never afraid to ask questions. Dude, the one day I thought I saw him on the sim at like 5 or 6 a.m. I was at work or something. Or 6 or 7 a.m. He was on the sim at the shop, getting in laps at Homestead, trying to do whatever he can to make sure he is prepared to be able to advance to the next round. You're going to hear him in the outright picks. You already know what it is. I was at Vegas, saw him win 80-1. I gave you guys the picks out on my social media, gave it out on my podcast. You can go back to the Las Vegas weekend, the betting show, and make sure to fact check me because I know I gave it out 70-1, 80-1, whatever the fuck it was. We hit it live in Vegas. They're giving us 3-1 for a top 5. I think he's going to qualify inside the top 10. No doubt this line is going to be a little bit shorter. Give me the 3-1 on Raja Karuth on Bet365. That's the best line you're going to be able to find out there. I love Raja in this spot. He's been good at 1.5 miles. He's been able to save his tires. He's had also a lot of speed, putting a really good playoffs together. Now I know I haven't talked much about the playoff cut line. I've talked about it in previous episodes. Grant Enfinger's locked in. You got Corey Heim and Christian Eckes. They would need absolute abysmal weeks to not make it into the championship after Martinsville next week. There's basically one more spot. And Nick Sanchez, who the fuck? Raja Karuth. Is Tyler Ankrum still? It's just been so long in these races that you have no idea who the fuck's still in the goddamn playoffs. There's some longer guys, but Raj is in a place in the points that he can still point his way in. But I think he's going for the win, man. And he's going to be in the top 5. He's good at 1.5 miles. He's good at saving his tires. He's putting in the work. Talks to Cup Series drivers. Raja Karuth, 3-1 for a top 5, I think is a beautiful number. Now let's go to the next guy where I think it was the 45 last year of Carson Hocevar won the race. Well, this motherfucker's in the 42. We saw him at Kansas in the spring and in the fall. Absolutely kill it. Almost could have won the race at the cautions went his way in the spring race at Kansas. And we had him as crazy long shot odds for top 5 and top 3. And we fucking hit that shit. Had him as a winner, and nobody took that shit. We made a bag. And now from his crazy long odds for a top 5, which was like longer than a 10-1, he's now plus 240 on Bet365. Caden Honeycutt, man. I was talking about these guys that he just won the Cars Tour Championship in his late model. These guys that know longer races, you need to be able to know how to save your tires. This team has won here and prepared a truck here last year to be able to win the races and also win a lot of mile and a half. And we've seen the raw speed from Caden Honeycutt. He's getting a full ride next year. Caden Honeycutt, I expect him to be a top 5 truck all day. The only thing is pit road. Pit road for a lot of these guys really is the sweat fest of all sweat fests. For every time you go to the truck series, it scares you, right? But Caden Honeycutt should have a fast truck as long as he doesn't get caught back there after, with the, well, as they say, the squirrels. Everybody says it on every podcast. The squirrels. After a pit, I think Caden Honeycutt will be top 5, no doubt. Just have good pits. Take your time. Just do it right. Don't have to come back down pit road. And I think he'll be top 5. No doubt in my mind. Like, they prepared race-winning trucks on this for this track. I believe Caden Honeycutt's getting Carson Hocevar's truck from last year. And they just put his 42 on it. So, or whatever it is, the 45, whatever the fuck he's driving. Let me try and pull it up. Maybe I'm a little wrong here. Bobby Box. Where is he? Caden Honeycutt. 45. So I was right. Okay, so I was wrong. 45. Caden Honeycutt driving in the 45, man. Like, he is going to be good. I got nothing else to say on Caden Honeycutt, man. Like, other than, like, he's very fast. He's very good. So, let's move over to our next bets. That was plus 240 on Bet365. You can find the plus 2 something or whatever on Caden Honeycutt in a lot of spots. So, I would take it no shorter than 2-1. Lane Riggs plus 260 for a top 3. We're going to the top 3 market. I'm loving this line. Lane Riggs has been absolutely fast. Now, this 38 truck last year at Homestead had a little bit of issues, maybe the speed, or they were on the wrong side of strategy, I think it was. Zane Smith didn't end up getting the win, and I think Zane Smith struggled all year or whatever, not getting wins. But Lane Riggs has all of a sudden randomly showed up, and this thing has been fucking Speedy Gonzalez on short tracks and fucking mile and a half. So what did he finish? Second at Kansas a couple of weeks ago, like insanely fast. Lane Riggs has been killing it. I expect him to be riding inside the top 5. Let's keep the momentum going. Next year at the beginning of the year, or a month or two before the beginning of the truck season, let's keep an eye out for Truck Series champion Lane Riggs odds, okay? I'm taking it whatever I can get it at. Lane Riggs has showed a lot of speed, and I think top 3 is not a lock. I rarely take top 3s, but Lane Riggs, we took him top 3 at Bristol, obviously different track. But we took him top 5, we took him top 3, and we had him to win, and he cashed us every single one of those. So Lane Riggs plus 260 on Bet365. A little light bet. It is top 3. It's extremely short. But this truck has been good on mile and a half. He's got a lot of speed. And once again, my theory of short track guys know how to race in these long races, saving tires. Lane Riggs comes from that background. So I expect them to be able to do it. So Lane Riggs, top 3, and a fast truck. And has turned it on. Been an upset in the playoffs for a lot of guys that you thought were going to win. Corey Hyman, Christian Eckes, Ty Majeski's, which Ty Majeski's dog poop. And we got a lot of hate around here for the little ass Ty Majeski. The little cheater. What would they say? Pumpkin eater, bitch. So Lane Riggs upset with a plus 260 for the top 3. And now let's get to the outrights. Longest play. It's not crazy long. It's a little longer. I was thinking about taking Matt Craft and Stuart Friesen, but I just don't think they'll be able to win. I don't want too much exposure on those two guys because we know what they can do during the year. Raja Caruth, 25-1 on Bet Rivers. We talked about it. Great odds there. He's like 20-1 and 22-1 on other books. He's on Bet Rivers at 25-1. So I love that. Caden Honeycutt is 16-1 on a bunch of other books, but on DK DraftKings, we get 18-1. I love that line. And Lane Riggs sat for over, I think it was maybe 12 hours or so on DraftKings at 15-1. You guys, I tweeted it out. You follow me at @FurlongEric_. I said 15-1. That should have, I placed a bet. I didn't specifically say where, but that's your job to be able to follow me, hit the notifications, see when I tweet out or post out, whatever the fuck people want to say. Post on X. And A lot of people liked it. I'm sure a lot of people got a lot of exposure. It took them till probably 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern to be able to move that line down to 10-1. So Lane Riggs at 15-1. Didn't have to put much action on it to be able to get a good payout. Lane Riggs 15-1. We just talked about him. I'm not taking any of the favorites. We've seen that in the Truck Series. It's never guaranteed that a Corey Heim, a Christian Eckes, Ty Majeski, those guys that are right up at the front can always win. Honestly, genuinely, I think this is the track where those top three guys probably struggle the most. Corey Heim didn't save his tires, had maybe a little bit of an issue last year. Christian Eckes just not the best here. Ty Majeski has won here. That was in the 66. But what have we seen other than on short tracks and when they're cheating? What does the 98 do? Nothing. And he finished 10th here last year. I don't expect I cannot trust Ty Majeski to be able to fucking win this race. He could put it on the pole, and I cannot trust that team to be able to put a good race together and be able to win the race. Now, he does come from the theory that I have from short tracks, being able to save tires on these long races. So he is sitting at 7-1 on DraftKings. If you do want Ty Majeski, I honestly don't hate that. I might get a little exposure on him. We'll see before practice and qualifying tomorrow, but maybe I want to wait and see if he drifts out a little bit. I don't think he will drift out much. I think 7-1 is probably the best line. Maybe an 8-1 is the best you'll get maybe at some point if he does qualify bad and looks bad in practice. So we're going to hold off on that. I think there's a lot of value on these good trucks that should be top 5 and top 10 all day. Raja Caruth 25-1 on Bet Rivers. Caden Honeycutt 18-1 on DK. And as well on DK is Lane Riggs. Now it's gone 15-1. That's the truck card. Connor Zilic over Taylor Gray. Bet Rivers. Friesen over Sawalich at -115 on Caesars. Matt Crafton 15-1. All these top 5s are on Bet365. So Matt Crafton 15-1. Stuart Friesen 6-1. Raja Caruth 3-1. Caden Honeycutt +240. And then on Bet365 as well as Lane Riggs top 3. Okay. Now let's go to the Xfinity card. Very small card right now. I'm hoping that the books open up some post-qualifying odds before I leave the country, and I can take some better lines on some guys. I just wanted to get some action on the guy I hate the most, and that's Austin Hill. Ryan from Win the Race, both of us are on him. I think Cody Zeeb from the NASCAR gambling podcast or whatever is on him too. Austin Hill, I've talked a lot of shit about Austin Hill and how he's not fast a lot of places. But he's been pretty solid here as well. But we will see from Austin Hill because he was irrelevant as irrelevant can be at Kansas a couple of weeks ago. So we will see. So let's start off with some matchups on Bet365. Both of these are sitting at Cole Custer over Eric Almirola. I think Cody Zeeb kind of mentioned it. Maybe it was somebody else, but said, like, where do you see Eric Almirola doing really well? I mean, Vegas, he was irrelevant as hell last week in Vegas. He's not known for being good at Homestead. If he goes and wins the race, sure, but if anything, I would want to get some exposure on him to be able to win the race, maybe after practice and qualifying, because I don't think he's going to look very good. And if the Toyota's unloaded the way they unloaded last week at Vegas, by golly, fade the Toyotas then. Cole Custer, good race last week. I think he ended up finishing better, okay race, because he looked really fast in practice and qualifying. I thought the Stewart Haas cars were, I called out that one of them was going to win the race, and I jinxed it. Didn't I say I was going to jinx him? But he did finish better than Almirola, and Almirola was irrelevant. And Cole Custer led a fuck ton of laps here last year, ran down a tire, then had a penalty on pit road. After that, they came down to fix that tire and ruined his day. I think Cole Custer very well can win this race. I saw him ripping the wall at Charlotte as well. The guy knows how to enter high and keep that momentum all the way across the wall, and I think he's going to be able to do it better than Eric Almirola. I have never seen Eric Almirola be able to get real close to the wall and rip that shit. So Cole Custer at -125 on Bet365. Austin Hill over William Sawalich. We talked about William Sawalich in the Truck Series. I think that is fucking insane. What a lineup that is. I doubled up my unit play on this. Austin Hill over William Sawalich. I'm going to give you the Austin Hill stats. So, make sure you're listening. Austin Hill stats, because he's raced here twice over the last 2 years. And we obviously William Sawalich is making his Xfinity series, I think, debut maybe. And Austin Hill has just been consistently good here, finishing 4th last year, starting 4th, and then finishing 9th the previous year and starting 10th. So wherever Austin Hill qualifies, most likely he will finish around in that position. So maybe let's hope for an Austin Hill top 5, qualifying top 5, because we'll have him in the top 5 market. But over William Sawalich, a guy, I understand it's a Joe Gibbs car, but what the fuck are we doing here? Minus 115 is the line on Bet365, and I hammered the shit out of it. That's one of my favorite plays this weekend. The only way I see this losing, I'm sure it'll find a different way to lose, is if Austin Hill has an abysmal day on pit road, but they have the best pit crew in Xfinity series, hands down. And man, it's just, I feel like every time I go fucking see Xfinity, Austin Hill's in the mix and probably wins the race. So I'm going off that juju too, but like this should not be a matchup. I feel bad for William Sawalich in this spot. So Austin Hill over William Sawalich on Bet365 at minus 115. Let me tell you, Austin Hill will probably be a huge favorite, I would assume, after practice and qualifying, if we were to get this matchup again. Let's go to the top 5 market. I'm going to leave the one play that I really like for the NASCAR betting preview show that I will be doing just based on it's all on Xfinity. So go over to the NASCAR betting preview show. Check it out. Super early in the morning tomorrow as well. We got 3 more episodes, obviously, to the and then the end of the season. So go over to the NASCAR betting preview show, wherever you get your audio podcasts, and I'll be doing the Xfinity show, breaking down all these bets, but one play that I really like that will probably be a long shot, a really long shot after practice and qualifying. So let's go to the top 5. All the exposure on Austin Hill, 3-1. Absolutely irrelevant at Las Vegas last week. Kind of scares me a little bit, but guys that come to Homestead, and we're going to talk about it in the Cup Series, whoever comes to, if you're good at Homestead, you're good at Homestead. Doesn't really matter. You know how to set the car up. You know how to save your tires. You know how to rip the wall. And you just know how to be able to ride around this track, be able to get on pit road properly. A lot of guys are just comfortable here and know how to drive it, know how to, handle the car. And Austin Hill, I think, is one of those guys, being in his first 2 starts, finishing 4th and 9th, and obviously gradually getting better, finishing 9th in his first race here and then finishing 4th last year. I mean, Austin Hill, man, just getting gradually better. 3-1 is a great line. I know a lot of people that are on it, so let's all cash together. And Austin Hill, man, let's go. I was thinking about taking top 3 and riding that ladder, baby, all the way up. But 3-1 is a great play. I like it. Let's just clutch up, Austin, while I'm there. I told you the stats. Top 3 is empty right now. I might take that little sprinkle on Austin Hill because I think he's a little longer. But the to win market, man, outright. Austin Hill, 20-1. Bet Rivers. Love it. 20-1 is the best line you're going to be able to get. Little long, qualifies well inside the top 10 like he has the last 2 years. This will be shorter. Austin Hill, 20-1. Told you the stats. That's all you guys need to know. And I also hate being live and Austin Hill wins a race. There's nothing more fulfilling in life when Austin Hill wins a race and you be able to make money off of him because you hate the guy. And you can walk away happy. Riley Herbst could have won this race. Was running down Sam Mayer. He is sitting at 13-1. He qualified 7th last year. Previous year is a little inconsistent, but obviously Riley Herbst is slowly getting his big boy pants on and being able to put races together. We saw it a couple times this year, right? Or once this year, or whatever it was, how many races he's won, but he's been good at 1.5 miles. If they unload the way they unloaded last week at Las Vegas, and they come here and then they can actually, show face. Stuart Haas can show face in the top 5. Riley Herbst, I think, is going to be there, man. And the way he raced last year, if he's there at 13-1, you guys are going to be regretting it. The only thing is I'm going to put a little bit of exposure on him, because if he does qualify well, I want to be able to have a little bit more bankroll to be able to drop on Riley Herbst if he drifts out a little bit longer. But 13-1 on Bet Rivers is the best line you can find. He's like 12-1 on DraftKings, maybe 10-1 on other books. But 13-1, little exposure on my boy Riley Herbst. I love it. So that's the Xfinity plays. Make sure to go listen to the NASCAR betting preview show, Xfinity show, to hear one of my favorite top 5 plays, Longshot, and it probably will drift out after practice and qualifying. So Cole Custer over Eric Almirola, minus 125 on Bet365. Austin Hill over William Sawalich at minus 115 on Bet365 as well. Austin Hill 3-1 as well on the same book. Austin Hill 20-1 on Bet Rivers, and as well on Bet Rivers is Riley Herbst at 13-1. So let's plug ourselves real quick, and then we will dive into the Cup Series bets, because I have a couple, and I have a couple theories on guys. And Ryan from Win the Race, my dog, big dog, Debbie Upper now. If you guys watch the NASCAR betting preview show, the live show on Wednesday nights, you guys would know what we're talking about. Him and I are on a lot of the same plays, and we have a lot of good theories. So I'm going to pull up my Action Network, so make sure to go to the Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube. The video will be up on Friday morning for you guys, so you guys can go watch my beautiful face. So I got the money shirt on. This shirt, was it the Rusty Wallace shirt? Miller Lite shirt has won me. I've won a lot of money wearing this shirt, and it's gonna be too fucking hot in Miami to be able to wear this shirt. It's a heavy cotton all over print tee, so I will not be wearing it down there because I will be cooking in this black tee. But maybe we'll pick up the Dale Jr. white tee that just came out for his late model in the number 8. So Hot Pass Podcast, go check out, see what I'm wearing on the shirt. Go Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube. Like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast. Go to the Hot Pass Podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and be able to leave me a 5-star rating there. Apple and Spotify, wherever you get it, is just make sure to leave a rating. It really helps us out in the long run. And it's available. The Hot Pass Podcast is available every Tuesday and Friday at 5 a.m. Eastern. The betting show is always available at 5 a.m. Eastern. Okay. And then at Furlong Eric _, because if you guys go to at Furlong Eric _, you go to the Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube, you go to the Spotify, you go to the Apple. What's in the bio there? My link tree. And you can go over to the Action Network and you can see these super early plays, the long shot plays of all long shot plays. And this one was a sweaty one last year. So let's head up the Action Network. Go over there right now. Follow me. You'd get a notification when I put in this bet. And that bet is, let me just log in here real quick. I've got cut up fingers or whatever from work, so it's hard to sign in on shit. But if you go to the Action Network right now and you go and see my plays, you know who we're talking about. Austin Dillon in the Cup Series, baby. My action, I got a lot of exposure on the board. Well, you don't have to because it's long shots, but a lot of exposure on the dog. So we're going to just go into the Austin Dillon plays. Maybe I said Austin Hill by accident, but I meant Austin Dillon. A lot of Austin plays this week. Do the Austin combo bet, but Austin Dillon, top 10, plus 600. It's moved on Bet365 over to plus 400. I would still take that. But this is one of my favorite bets last year. He was riding top 10, 7th until that, I think that late race caution or whatever came out. And I had an abysmal pit. I remember so many people were on Austin Dillon top 10 bets. And we're all watching him see where he comes off pit road, and he comes off late in the race with 20 laps to go. And he ends up coming out 20th or whatever. And this motherfucker puts the drive of his life together. And on the final turn, coming off of turn 4, he was tracking down Kevin Harvick. He passes Harvick on the final turn and catches everybody the top 10. So we love this play. I think this might be even the same number that we had last year. I'd have to go back and check my archives of the bets that I took. But Austin Dillon top 10 at plus 600. And you might be wondering why. When I just said the guys that show up at this track that know how to set up the car for the track, and can put a good race here together, just know and feel comfortable. And Austin Dillon said to my boy Tino there from the NASCAR betting preview show, said that he's excited and he loves his track. It's his favorite track. And the biggest thing is when it comes to his stats, he's never crashed at this track. He's put a great race together every time. And my favorite part is the last 2 years finishing 10th, had a better car than 10th. Okay. Honestly think it was a top 5 car. It was definitely a top 10 car, no doubt, but better than 10th place. Should have finished a lot higher than that after coming off of an abysmal pit road. And his pit crew, all of his pit crew members are back after having fines or serving penalties or whatever last week. So that's good. But the last 2 years, he might have set up the same fucking car, and he's probably bringing the same car again because he finished 10th and 4th over the last 2 years in the Gen 7. But previous to that, 12th, 7th, 8th, 11th, 12th, 14th, 25th in his first start back in 2014. But fuck that. We're going off this. He is always right there, just outside the top 10 or inside the top 10. And that's what we like. And the value of plus 600 is insane. A lot of books have him at 2-1 or 3-1. This is great value. Okay. Austin, that's all I have to say because he's just good at this track. Now, does he always qualify the best? No. But I don't think this line's going to drift out much farther. They already have seen the exposure that people have on Austin Dillon. I don't think it's going to drift out farther than 6-1. If it does, I'll take more. I will take more. Fuck it. I don't care. Give me a matchup of Austin Dillon qualifying 32nd in 2022 and he ends up finishing fucking 4th in the race. Isn't that crazy? Starts 32nd, finishes 4th. Last year qualified 6th, dialed in the car even better, finishes 10th, and I honestly think he could have finished 6th or 7th or even top 5. So if he qualifies really well, you already know that this line will not, these numbers will not be there. So I'll take him at the plus 400. He's sitting at Bet365 right now as well. We have more exposure on Austin Dillon. Now, these are tiny sprinkle plays. Don't be betting your life savings on it. Last year, I put like 3 units on Austin Dillon top 10, and I was in shambles when he came out off pit road, but that was a great finish, baby. Won me a lot of money. Austin Dillon, top 5 at plus 1,800. It's still sitting there on Bet365. Small little sprinkle play, but my argument is that he arguably was a top 5 car last year. So this is not well out of his capabilities on this track with the same car probably, same setup, and can just rip the wall and drive through the field in this car. It's like AJ Allmendinger showing up in that 16 now. Like they have seen what AJ Allmendinger can do here with the consistent top 5 or top 10 finishes here in that 16. AJ Allmendinger loves that loves this track. But have we seen the speed of AJ Allmendinger in that 16 or anybody in that 16 other than on road courses? No. So I don't like AJ Allmendinger's lines, but I love Austin Dillon at 18-1 for a top 5, where I think those are the 2 main guys that you will see driving probably really, really well at this track. And it just boosts up my theory saying AJ Allmendinger's numbers here, that Austin Dillon can do the same thing. And it just shows that those guys that know, and it goes all the way from Xfinity to the Truck Series bets. The guys that are good here oftentimes run really well here, always will run well here. So they just know how to set up the car or the truck here. So Austin Dillon, 18-1 for a top 5 is great. I also took Austin Dillon 150-1 at a little 0.15 of a unit sprinkle play to win the race. We saw him at like 200 or 250-1 at Richmond, and that was even a bigger shocker. And this is a track that he runs really well at. If he can find somehow the fucking speed that they had at Richmond, obviously not a comparable track, but if they can find the speed, whatever the fuck they did to that Richmond car, and find it in this could be the play of all plays. And you will be a rich person. And you only really need to put $10 on it, $5 on it, and cash out huge. So Austin Dillon 150-1. So let's now back it back up to Ryan Preece, top 10 at plus 1,700. Now you guys may be wondering why are you doing that? Everybody's saying Stuart Haas is packed up and leaving. But didn't Ryan Preece just get like a top 10 or something? On like Vegas or Kansas or something? Isn't he kind of just can randomly show up? This is a chaos bet. If chaos at Homestead, which we have seen it last year with Denny Hamlin breaking his steering column, fucking going up into the wall, Kyle Larson trying to close the gap on Ryan Blaney going to pit road, runs into the sand barrels. Ryan Blaney gets a little tap in the butt, and there's all these cautions happening. Christopher Bell, dude, was literally running like 14th or 15th, almost getting lapped last year. cautions land his way, he goes and wins the race. That's why I'm not high on Christopher Bell this weekend. I understand the speed. He can go beat me. But last year had speed at Las Vegas, but then didn't show it at Homestead and had to be able to go and get the cautions to run his way to go and win the race. So I'm not high on Christopher Bell. I think he can still win, but this is what I mean is there's crazy chaos and guys can all of a sudden just methodically make it through the field. And Ryan Preece is actually, I saw it on iFantasy Race, that he's methodically over the last two times racing here, over the last 2 years, has just methodically gotten better. I think he finished 19th or something roughly in the 2 years ago, and then 13th last year. 3 spots out, and he's 17-1 for a top 10. I put 0.2 of a unit, just a little sprinkle play. As a long shot, the chaos happens. 17-1 for Ryan Preece, where he finished 13th here last year. Maybe some strategy. Maybe a bunch of chaos can happen at Homestead. We've seen it all before. Previous years, even in previous Gen 6 and Gen 5 cars, we a guy like this can get inside the top 10. We've seen it with Zane Smiths and fucking Carson Hosevars and all sorts of Corey LaJoyes at fucking at Watkins Glen in the top 10 at a road course. Like, we've seen crazy shit this year and crazy long. This is why I like this play. And then some other plays that I don't have on my Action Network currently, but I'm taking a look at is Martin Truex for a top 5 and Brad Keselowski for a top 5. These guys just run really well. This is actually one of the tracks, and I'm going to talk about in the outright market, that I do not have on my Action Network currently. It might be up there by the time you guys listen to it, so go follow at @FurlongEric_. Brad Keselowski qualifies extremely well here. Actually, let me pull up his numbers here for you guys. And that is one area that Brad Keselowski has in this Gen 7 car has done extremely bad at. And it genuinely hurts him every single week having bad pit stalls. Now, over the last couple of weeks, maybe 2-3 months, he has not have a fast. He hasn't 2 months, right? Maybe has not have a fast car. But as I said, once again, these guys that are good here will continue to be good here. His average starting spot is 8.9. That's insane, even including the Gen 7 rides. Average finish 14.5. Maybe not the best. I think last year was a top 5 car all day, and I think his brakes or something gave out. It's as well as like last year with Martin Truex wins the pole and engine blows. So like the finishes from last year is not how good those Martin Truex and Brad Keselowski's cars were. Brad Keselowski was a top 5 car all day last year, but his qualifying record is insane for Brad Keselowski here. And as I said, when he qualified well at Darlington, where you have to rip the wall as well, he was good all day. Ends up Chris Buescher and Tyler Reddick get into each other, and he goes and wins the race. So don't be surprised if Brad, I think he's sitting at 22-1 on FanDuel or 20-1 on FanDuel, whatever it is, the best line out there. For outright, I'm taking that. And Brad Keselowski, wherever I can find the best line at a top 5, I love that play because he's starting recently over the years. He has not started outside the top 10 at Homestead since 2010. Same as like fucking Matt Crafton's finishes. In the Truck Series, this is Brad Keselowski starting 4th, 9th, 7th, 3rd, 8th, 4th, 5th, 2nd, 8th, 4th, 4th, 3rd, 5th. That was from 2023 all the way to 2011. So get some exposure on Brad now. He qualifies really well here. Even in the Gen 7 car, he's qualified 4th and 9th. Those numbers will get hacked down. Now, Brad Keselowski did finish 28th here last year. He finished 5th in the first year where those cars they were not very fast at all. Definitely Brad's car. So would not be shot. Like, Brad was a top 5 car all last year. This 28th spot finish should have been a 5th at least. So let me take a top 5. Let me take a top 5 with a Brad Keselowski, whatever that is. It'll be 2-1 for sure in a lot of books. And then Martin Truex, I don't even need to pull up his odds. People are saying he's gone fishing. This girl I know, big Truex fan, she goes, he's mentally gone fishing. And I went, okay. But in the recent mile and a half, he finished where he should have been finishing at Las Vegas, top 10, just outside the top 5. He's done that the last couple of years. Kansas recently finished third, a little more tire wear, right? He was a top 5 car, top 7 car all last year. Qualified on the pole. Engine blows up. Now we have seen issues with the engines blowing up and all sorts of shit, transmission issues, gearbox issues, whatever with the Toyotas this year. Definitely in the Joe Gibbs camp, which is shocking because you don't really see it with the 2311 guys. But Martin Truex goes and puts it on the pole. He's sitting at 20-1 to win the race. He wants to win this race, dude. There is no doubt in my mind that he does not want to win. Or there's no doubt in my mind he does want to win. And he's been obviously battling. Kansas, he finished third. And that was the most quiet finish of third place ever. Nobody talked about him because you had William Byron and Ross Chastain battling it out near the end of the race and the shit that happened with Kyle Busch. So he's right there. He is knocking on the door to be able to win the race, and he's been consistently good here. And sitting at 20-1, that's insane. To be able to win the race, give me a 2-1, I'm sure, somewhere at him for a top 5. And those are my plays. As well as Ryan Blaney, 14-1 on FanDuel. He's been bet down to a shorter odds at like 11 or 10-1. Ryan Blaney was arguably the best car here last year. He's obviously been showing speed. He obviously couldn't show what he had last week with the issues in practice and in the race as well, getting caught in that early wreck with Tyler Reddick and Chase Elliott and Brad Keselowski. But man, let me tell you, Ryan Blaney has been fast on all the mile and a halves, and Chris Wormy made that point last week. And 14-1 is a great number, where he was sitting at 9 or 10-1 on a lot of books. So 14-1, I got in on it early. That's one of my favorite plays. So let's break down the Cup Series and let's finish off this long podcast. It's probably been a long-ass one, man. I still got to record the NASCAR betting preview show. It's been over an hour, baby. It's been a good one. Exciting. Lots of odds. Lots of plays. Okay? I love being there live, sweating out. Like, it'll be hotter than a motherfucker in the stands. I'll be sweating out water and sweating out Beast Unleashed. Shout out to Tyler Reddick's Orange Beast Unleashed car. I knew about that for weeks now, that it was either going to be purple or orange. And found out that it was orange, baby. It's going to look so good in the sun. They're releasing this t-shirt or whatever that you have to go to Instagram and fucking share it and shit. But anyways, these are the plays. Let's break it down. Austin Dillon plays. Top 10, plus 600 on Bet365. I would take it at the 4-1 that it is now. Austin Dillon, plus 1,800 for a top 5 on Bet365 as well. Still available there. I love the little shekel play. Austin Dillon to win, 150-1. I love to see it. Those are the Austin Dillon plays. Let me take it all day. Little shekel plays on there to be able to win a lot of money. Ryan Preece, top 10, 17-1. Crazy long shot, need a lot of chaos. Little shekel play. Let's make a bag on that one as well, dude. If Austin Dillon, top 10, and Ryan Preece finish top 10, holy shit, we're rolling in the dough. And then top 5 plays, whatever you can find. Martin Truex, Brad Keselowski, both for the top 5 market. And then the outrights. We talked about Austin Dillon, 150-1. I think Brad Keselowski's available on FanDuel at 22-1. Maybe 24-1, I think it is, actually, now that it comes to mind. Martin Truex, 20-1 on FanDuel. Love that number. And Ryan Blaney, 14-1. We didn't talk much about the playoff picture. Tyler Reddick, I think, might be in a, it's not the worst thing in the world. He might be in a must-win situation. I'm waiting for these guys in practice and qualify. I understand that every time I go to fucking watch a race, one of my favorite drivers win, and I don't have exposure on him, but Tyler Reddick, I think, can win. Kyle Larson very well can win. Christopher Bell. They're just too short of odds, man, and I don't want to touch him. These guys run so close to the wall, a lot of shit can happen. And they're going to be pushing to the limit. Kyle Larson is already, he's feeling good with the cushion he's got, but we saw what he did last year. And I want to take these long shot odds and not have too much action on the race because I hate having to sweat the shit out of it. We already got an Austin Dillon top 10 out there to be able to sweat. So I'm not going to touch really any of those big favorites. Denny Hamlin's in a must-win situation. Ryan Blaney is in a must-win situation. That's why I only took him outright. I think, obviously one of these cup guys could go and win, or the playoff guys can go win the race. But there's a lot of good guys that aren't in the playoffs that are really good at this track and can do well. We'll break down the playoff picture. We did it on the Tuesday show or whatever. If you guys want my whole full playoff predictions going to the championship race, going into this race, go listen to the Tuesday show. That was this week. Go listen to that full breakdown for the trucks and Xfinity and Cup of what I think is going to happen, who's going to get wrecked in this race, who's going to be in a must-win situation, going to Martinsville after this weekend, and you guys can go listen to that. So go listen to the Hot Pass podcast on YouTube. Go watch all the outfits I've got. We got a Justin Allgaier interview. I'll be touching base with him this weekend, getting it scheduled. So we got a Justin Allgaier interview coming up. It'll be on YouTube and audio, so make sure to go subscribe to the Hot Pass podcast on YouTube. Like, rate, share, and subscribe to the podcast, okay? Go to Hot Pass Podcast, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Spotify, Apple, wherever. Leave a 5-star rating. It helps out the podcast on a whole nother level. You guys don't understand the exposure that it helps when you do get a lot more 5-star ratings. So make sure to go do that right now. And the podcast is available every Tuesday and Friday at 5 a.m. Eastern. Tuesday, recap show, Friday morning betting show, and interviews sprinkled in there all the time, or every once in a while as well. We're going to have Ryan, that designed all the Dale Jr. merch, Ryan Williams, on again to be able to discuss the designing process of everything that went on with that number 8 late model car that Dale Jr. is going to be racing in a couple of weeks. So go make sure that'll be on YouTube as well. So make sure to hit the notification bell and leave a rating, and that helps us out. I cannot wait to dive into that. So go to @FurlongEric_ on all social media platforms, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Make sure to go follow me there. We leave the an hour before the Xfinity and truck races. We always post our full final betting card on there for you guys to be able to see. And then go to @FurlongEric_ and go to the link in the bio. Go to the Action Network. Follow me there. See all these early Austin Dillon plays, all these Ryan Preece plays. Crazy shit always going on there. Lots of bets always going on. And make sure to follow me there. Okay, guys? And make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Or Instagram and Twitter for sure, because I'll be down at Homestead this weekend. What a great podcast. Over an hour. Let's make a bag. I'll see you guys down at Homestead. Let me know if you guys are going to be there this weekend. I will meet up with you guys and we'll hang out and have drinks. I'm going out for food and drinks on Saturday night in Miami. You guys want to tag along? The more the merrier, baby. Hot Pass Podcast. Justin Allgaier interview coming up. Ryan Williams, the designer of all the Junior Motorsports cars, including Dale Jr.'s number 8 late model, coming up in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a big couple of weeks. Getting close to the nitty-gritty of the championship. So it's been Eric. We'll talk to you guys later. See you on Tuesday. Let's go make a bag in Miami, baby. Or Homestead, Miami. See you. Peace.